The stars looked peaceful from the bridge of the Zelothy warship. Commander Vexala stood with her forearms crossed, watching the small blue ship floating in space ahead of them. It was humanity's first colony ship to reach this far from their home. The humans called their ship Hope's Journey. Vexala thought it was a strange name for a vessel. The Zelothy Dominion had ruled over 300 star systems for more than 5,000 years. They had met many species. They had fought many wars. They had won every single one. Their success came from one simple truth. War had patterns. War had rules. Every species in the galaxy followed these patterns when they fought. The Zelothy had studied war until they understood it perfectly. Their computers could predict what an enemy would do before the enemy even knew. Open communication channels, Vexala ordered. Her voice was calm. First contact with a new species always went the same way. They would talk. They would set boundaries. If the new species was smart, they would accept the Dominion's offer to join peacefully. If they were foolish, there would be a short war. Then they would surrender. It had been the same for 5,000 years. The human face that appeared on the screen surprised her. It had fur on its head, but none on its face. Its skin was brown. It showed its teeth, which Vexala's computer told her was called a smile. This meant the human was happy or friendly. Strange behavior when meeting a superior force, but Vexala had seen stranger. Greetings. I am Captain Maria Rodriguez of the colony ship Hope's Journey. We represent Earth and humanity. We come in peace. The human spoke in badly accented galactic standard. They had clearly just learned the language. I am Commander Vexala of the Zelothy Dominion, she replied. Your ship has entered Dominion space. You must withdraw beyond the boundary marker we are transmitting now. The human captain looked at something off-screen. Her smile disappeared. Commander, our star charts show this area as unclaimed space. We've been traveling for 40 years to establish our colony here. Surely we can discuss this. Vexala felt the familiar irritation. New species always thought they could negotiate. They never understood that the Dominion did not negotiate with lesser beings. The boundary has been set. You have one solar rotation to move your ship. But our colony ship doesn't have enough fuel to reach another system, Captain Rodriguez said. Her voice became higher. Vexala's computer said this indicated stress in humans. We have 10,000 colonists in cryosleep. There are children, families. Please, there must be another way. One solar rotation, Vexala repeated and cut the communication. She turned to her second-in-command, Sub-Commander Thresh. His scales rippled with amusement. Will they run or fight? The computer says they will run, Vexala said, looking at the prediction screen. They have one small ship, no weapons we can detect, and they seem to value their young. 97% chance they retreat. 20 hours passed. The human ship did not move. Vexala sent another message. The humans asked for more time. They said they were waking their colonists to vote. Vote as if war cared about voting. Vexala gave them 4 more hours as a courtesy. When the time passed and the ship still hadn't moved, Vexala ordered a warning shot. The beam of energy passed close to the human ship. Close enough to scare them. Not close enough to damage them. The human ship sent a message. It was not from Captain Rodriguez. A younger human male appeared on screen. His face was wet. The computer said he was experiencing something called crying. Please. This is Lieutenant James Park. Captain Rodriguez is trying to... She wants to... Please, we have children here. We're not soldiers. We're families looking for a new home. We meant no disrespect. We'll leave, we just need time to calculate a new route. Our navigation computer is very old, please. Vexala muted the channel and turned to Thresh. What do you think? A trick? Thresh suggested. Though the emotional display seems genuine. The computer says it's real. Humans leak water from their eyes when distressed. Primitive but effective for generating sympathy. Vexala thought for a moment. The Dominion had procedures for everything. We follow protocol. They were warned. She turned back to the screen. You have 1 hour. If your ship has not begun moving by then, you will be considered hostile. The hour passed. The human ship started to move, but not away. It moved toward a small research station the humans had built on a nearby moon. They had been there for 3 months. The Zelothy had been watching them. The humans were slow builders. Their station was small and weak. Commander, Thresh said, they're evacuating the research station. How many humans are there? 30 scientists. Vexala watched the small shuttles flying between the station and the colony ship. They were trying to save their people. Admirable but pointless. They're stalling, she decided. Fire on the research station. Low power. Destroy it, but give them time to evacuate first. The weapons officer looked confused. Commander? We're not monsters, Vexala said. But they need to understand we're serious. The warning shot gave the humans 5 minutes. The shuttles flew faster, desperately loading people. They saved 28 of the 30 scientists. Then the Zelathi guns fired. The research station exploded in a ball of orange fire that quickly died in the vacuum of space. The human colony ship sent one more message. This time it was Captain Rodriguez again. Her face was different. The computer couldn't identify the expression. 2 of our people just died, she said. Her voice was very quiet. They were young scientists. They had families on Earth waiting for them to come home. Their names were Dr. Sarah Kim and Dr. Michael Okonkwo. I want you to remember those names. Threats are pointless, Vexala replied. Leave now or be destroyed. Captain Rodriguez did something strange. She laughed. But the computer said this was not happy laughter. This was something else. We're leaving, the captain said. But this isn't over. Humanity has a saying, Commander. We never forget. You just taught us that the galaxy is more dangerous than we thought. Thank you for the lesson. The communication ended. The human ship slowly turned and began moving toward the boundary. Vexala watched it go. Something felt wrong. Every other species either begged for mercy or attacked in rage when the Dominion destroyed their property. The humans had done neither. Commander, Thresh said, reading a report. Should we report this to the Council? Report what? A minor territorial dispute with a primitive species. They have 1 colony ship and no fleet. Their homeworld is 40 light-years away with no faster-than-light communication. It will take them years just to get a message home. Vexala turned away from the screen. But start a file on them anyway. Something about this species is different. 3 weeks passed. The Zelathi border station continued its normal patrols. There had been no word from the humans. No demands from their government. No threats of retaliation. Nothing. The colony ship had disappeared into deep space. The Dominion Council considered the matter closed. Then the strangest thing happened. Nothing continued to happen. It's been 3 weeks, Thresh said during a routine briefing. Every species we've ever encountered has responded to first hostile contact within 10 days. The humans have done nothing. Maybe they're still traveling to their homeworld to report, suggested the weapons officer. No, Vexala said, studying the reports. We detected a faster-than-light communication burst from their ship the day they left. Their homeworld knows what happened. They're choosing not to respond. Maybe they're scared. Vexala pulled up the files they had gathered on humanity. Their homeworld, Earth, was a chaos of different governments, languages, and cultures. Their history was filled with wars where they fought each other. But there was something else. These humans had sent a colony ship 40 years ago with no guarantee of success. They had hurled themselves into the dark between stars with primitive technology and hope. No, Vexala said slowly. I don't think they're scared. I think they're planning something. Planning what? They have no fleet. No weapons we know of. What could they possibly do? Vexala didn't answer. She was reading a file about something called World War II from Earth's history. A nation called Japan had attacked a nation called America. America had waited, planned, then responded with weapons the world had never seen before. Send a message to the Council, Vexala ordered. Request permission to study human military history in detail. Is that necessary for such a primitive species? Vexala looked at the empty space where the human ship had been. I have a feeling we're going to need it. Commander Vexala had been studying human military history for 6 months when the first reports came in. She had requested and received a promotion to Strategic Analysis Division, specifically to understand these strange creatures. What she had learned disturbed her more than any enemy the Dominion had ever faced. The humans didn't follow the rules. Commander, we have multiple contacts, Thresh reported, rushing into her office. His scales were flickering rapidly, a sign of confusion. 17 human vessels have appeared at different points along our border. 17? Vexala stood up quickly. According to their intelligence, humans shouldn't have more than 5 ships capable of reaching this far from Earth. Are you certain? The sensors confirm it. But Commander... Thresh paused, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Something is wrong with these ships. Vexala followed him to the command center. On the main screen, 17 dots appeared along their border. The tactical computer was having difficulty categorizing them. "Show me visual on the nearest ship," she ordered. The image that appeared made everyone in the room stop and stare. The human ship was painted bright pink. Not military gray, not camouflage, not even black. Pink, with what appeared to be flowers drawn on its hull. "Is this some kind of joke?" Thresh asked. Before Vexala could answer, the pink ship started broadcasting. But it wasn't a message. It was music. Loud, aggressive music with heavy drums and someone screaming words in what the computer identified as ancient Earth language, called Norwegian death metal. "Sir, the ship is approaching," the weapons officer reported. "Should we warn them?" "Yes, send standard warning," Vexala ordered, though something felt very wrong. The warning was sent. The pink ship's response was to start flying in loops. Perfect loops that spelled out words in Galactic Standard, "We can't hear you." Then the second ship arrived. This one was painted to look like a giant Earth creature called a shark. It was broadcasting completely. Different music. Something called classical. Orchestra. The two human ships started flying in formation, but not any military formation Vexala had ever seen. They were dancing. The ships were dancing in space. "Fire warning shots," Vexala ordered. The Zealothi ship fired. Both human vessels immediately scattered, flying in random directions while broadcasting what sounded like human laughter. Then they regrouped and spelled out a new message. "Missed us." "Commander," the communications officer called out. "We're receiving a transmission from human ship number 7. Put it through." A human appeared on screen. But this human was wearing face paint in bright colors and a red nose. The computer identified this as a clown, though Vexala couldn't understand why humans would dress like this for war. "Knock knock," the human said cheerfully. "What?" Vexala responded, completely confused. "You're supposed to say who's there." The human explained, still smiling widely. "This is Commander Vexala of the Zealothi Dominion. You are in violation of—" "Interrupting cow," the human said. "What are you—" "Moo!" the human shouted, making a sound that apparently resembled an earth animal. Then the transmission cut. Thresh turned to Vexala. "Commander, what do we do?" Before she could answer, alarms started blaring. "Commander, 3 human ships are approaching Mining Station 7. On screen." 3 human vessels were indeed approaching the mining station. But they weren't attacking. They were flying around it in circles, broadcasting different music at maximum volume. The station reported that the noise was causing their equipment to malfunction. "Destroy them," Vexala ordered. The Zealothi fleet opened fire. 2 of the human ships exploded immediately. But as the debris spread out, the Zealothi sensors went crazy. The ships had been mostly empty shells filled with speakers and signal broadcasters. Decoys. The third ship, instead of fleeing, accelerated directly toward the Zealothi cruiser. "They're going to ram us," Thresh shouted. "Evasive action." The Zealothi ship moved aside. The human vessel passed by harmlessly, close enough that they could see inside its windows. The human crew were all wearing party hats and appeared to be having a celebration. "Commander," the intelligence officer called out, his voice shaking. "I'm analyzing the patterns of all 17 ships. There is no pattern. They're using random number generators to decide their movements. That's impossible. No military operates on randomness. The humans do. Look." He brought up a captured transmission from one of their ships. A human soldier was literally flipping a coin. "Heads we go left, tails we go right," the soldier said to his crew. Another alarm sounded. "Commander, 5 human ships have just surrendered at Border Station 9. Surrendered? This was unexpected. "Have them board and secured." 10 minutes later, Border Station 9 exploded. The report came quickly. The human ships had been rigged to self-destruct. Their crews had volunteered to die just to destroy one station. But the strangest part was the message they had left behind, painted on a piece of debris. "Gotcha!" "Commander," Vexala said slowly, "order all stations. Do not accept any human surrenders. Do not allow any human ships to approach. Do not—" She was interrupted by every screen in the command center turning on at once. A human face appeared. Not a military officer. It looked like a young human civilian wearing casual clothes. "Hey guys," the human said cheerfully. "This is Brad from Earth. So we're live streaming this whole war thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe." Anyway, chat wants me to ask you, why are your ships so slow? My grandmother moves faster than that and she's dead. The transmission cut to show video from multiple angles of Zalathi ships failing to hit the dancing human vessels. Comments in various Earth languages scrolled past the screen. Most seemed to be laughing. They're broadcasting this war as entertainment? Thresh couldn't believe it. Another transmission came through. This time it was an official human military officer. Finally, Vexala thought, someone sensible. The human admiral appeared on screen. He was a serious-looking older male with gray hair. He was also juggling 3 balls while he talked. Zalathi Dominion, he said calmly, never stopping his juggling. This is Admiral Chen of the United Earth Chaos Division. Yes, that's really what we call it. We voted on the name. Democracy is fun like that, Admiral, Vexala replied, trying to maintain dignity. Your actions are irrational. What are your demands? Demands? Oh, we don't have any demands. We're just here to mess with you. He caught all 3 balls and smiled. You killed 2 of our scientists, Dr. Kim and Dr. Okonkwo. We told you we don't forget. This is revenge? No, this is Tuesday. Revenge comes later. The Admiral started juggling again. By the way, you might want to check your supply convoy heading to Outer Station 12. Vexala quickly checked. The convoy was fine, except it was flying in the wrong direction. And all the cargo ships were now broadcasting something called disco music, while flying in a pattern that looked like an obscene gesture in 12 different alien languages. How? She demanded. Oh, we hacked them 6 hours ago, but we didn't steal anything. We just made them dance. Your security is terrible, by the way. Your passwords are all sequential numbers. That's like rule 1 of what not to do. The Admiral stopped juggling and his face became serious for just a moment. Here's the thing, Commander. You think war is about strength. You think it's about strategy. You think it's about rules. He smiled again. We think war is about breaking our enemy's will to fight. And nothing breaks someone's will quite like not knowing what the hell is going on. He resumed juggling, now with 5 balls instead of 3. Anyway, gotta go. We're about to do something really stupid with asteroid mining equipment. You're going to hate it. But it will be hilarious. Admiral Chen out. The transmission ended. Vexala stood in the silent command center, surrounded by confused officers. The tactical computer was showing error messages. It couldn't predict what the humans would do next because there was no pattern to predict. Commander, Thresh said quietly, the Council is requesting an update. Vexala looked at the chaos on her screens. Ships painted pink, fake surrenders, soldiers flipping coins for tactics, admirals juggling during negotiations, and civilians live-streaming war like it was a game. Tell the Council, she said slowly, that we have a problem. The humans don't fight wars. They perform them, and I have no idea how to stop a performance. Outside, another human ship appeared. This one was playing what the computer identified as circus music. It started dropping what looked like confetti bombs that did no damage, but made the Zalathi sensors think they were under massive attack. The age of predictable warfare was over. The humans had arrived and they had brought chaos with them. The war had been going on for 1 Earth year, and Commander Vexala had aged more in that time than in the previous century of her life. She stood in the council chamber on the Zalathi homeworld, facing the 5 Supreme Elders. Their ancient eyes studied her with concern. Commander, the first elder said, his voice heavy with 1,000 years of wisdom, explain to us how a species that discovered faster than light travel only 50 years ago is winning a war against the Dominion. They're not winning. Supreme Elder, Vexala corrected carefully. They're not losing either. They're just existing in a state of perpetual chaos that makes traditional warfare impossible. Show us, the second elder demanded. Vexala activated the holographic display. Last week, the humans strapped engines to 12 asteroids and launched them at our fleet formations. But they weren't aiming to hit us. They were playing something they call cosmic billiards. They were trying to use our ships to knock other asteroids into pockets, regions of space they had designated as goals. Did they succeed? No. But 3 of our captains had nervous breakdowns trying to figure out if it was an attack or a game.
Captain Zor is still in psychiatric care.
He keeps muttering about the pink ships and refuses to look at anything that color. The third elder leaned forward. Surely our superior firepower can simply destroy them. Watch this, Vexala said, playing a recording from 2 days ago. A human ship appeared on screen, approaching a Zalathi battlecruiser. The battlecruiser fired. The human ship exploded. Then the debris started broadcasting a message. We were a hologram the whole time. The real ship is behind you. The Zalathi ship spun around. Nothing was there. Then another message appeared coming from the debris. Made you look. They're children, the fourth elder said in disbelief. We're fighting children. No, Vexala disagreed. We're fighting something worse. We're fighting humans who have turned warfare into performance art. She changed the display. This is their latest tactic. They call it meme warfare. They create images with text that are somehow supposed to be funny. Our cultural analysis department has been trying to understand them for months. The image showed a picture of a Zalathi warrior with text reading, spends 5,000 years perfecting warfare, loses to humans with spray paint and speaker systems. I don't understand, the first elder admitted. Neither do we. But somehow these images are damaging morale across our forces. Soldiers don't want to fight because they're afraid of being turned into a meme, whatever that actually means. The fifth elder, who had remained silent, finally spoke. What about their actual military capabilities? Vexala pulled up another file. That's where it gets truly terrifying. Last month we thought we had cornered a human fleet, 60 of their ships against 300 of ours. Victory was certain. Then their admiral, a woman named Thompson, sent this message. The recording played. Admiral Thompson appeared on screen, sitting in what looked like a bathtub on her bridge. She was wearing a formal military uniform on top, and what appeared to be swimming attire below. Hey Zalathi friends, she said cheerfully. So fun fact about humans, we have this thing called mutually assured destruction. It's from our history when we pointed nuclear weapons at each other and said, if you kill me, I kill you back. Childish, right? Anyway, we've updated the concept. She held up a rubber duck and squeezed it. It made a squeaking sound. Every time you destroy one of our ships, this duck squeaks. When it squeaks, an automated system launches 100,000 micro-drones. Each drone is programmed to find a Zalathi ship and sing the same song. Forever. They're solar-powered and self-repairing. They'll last about 1,000,000 years, the human admiral smiled. The song is something called Baby Shark. Would you like to hear it? Before anyone could respond, she played 10 seconds of the most annoying sound the elders had ever heard. Simple, repetitive, and somehow designed to burrow into the brain. So, Admiral Thompson continued, you can destroy our 60 ships, but then you'll have 6 million drones following every Zalathi ship for the next 1,000,000 years singing that song. Your choice. They're insane, the second elder stated. It gets worse, Vexala said. Yesterday we intercepted their battle plans for next month. We were excited. Finally we could predict their movements. Then we realized something. They're broadcasting dozens of different battle plans, all encrypted with codes they know we've broken. Some plans are real. Some are fake. Some are half real with fake parts. Some are completely real, but they won't follow them. She brought up an intercepted communication between 2 human commanders. So, we doing Plan Delta? One asked. Nah, let's do Plan Delta but backwards and upside down. What does that even mean? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Cool. Should we tell the troops? Nah, it'll be more fun if everyone's surprised. The elders sat in stunned silence. Finally, the first elder spoke. In 5,000 years, we have never encountered anything like this. There's more, Vexala said reluctantly. They've started something called Bring Your Pet to War Day. Last Tuesday, half their fleet had Earth animals on board. Dogs, cats, something called a hamster. One ship had a goldfish as their tactical advisor. They claim the fish makes their strategic decisions by which direction it swims. That's absurd. Yes, but that ship has won every engagement. Either they're lying about the fish or what? Or they're so committed to being unpredictable that they're actually letting a fish make decisions. Either possibility is terrifying. The third elder stood up, agitated. This is ridiculous. We have the most advanced military in the galaxy. We do, Vexala agreed. But that military is designed to fight wars. The humans aren't fighting a war. They're hosting an anarchic theater performance where the only rule is there are no rules. She showed them one more video. This happened yesterday. A single human ship approached our main battle station. We prepared for an attack. Instead, the ship started projecting a giant hologram. It was a human in a wedding dress singing love songs to our station commander for 3 hours. The commander is requesting psychological leave. Can't we just ignore them? The fourth elder suggested. We tried that. When we ignore them, they get more creative. Last time we tried to ignore them, they spelled out insults about the Dominion using the positions of our own ships. It took us 3 days to realize our fleet formation spelled Zalathi smell like feet in 40 different languages. The fifth elder raised a hand. What do they actually want? That's the thing, Vexala said, exhausted. Every time we ask, they give different answers. One day they want an apology for the 2 scientists. The next day they want us to admit that pineapple belongs on pizza, whatever that means. Yesterday they demanded we all learn something called the Macarena and perform it together for galactic peace. Are these demands serious? We have no idea. That's the point. They've weaponized confusion itself. The first elder stood slowly. Commander Vexala, what is your recommendation? Vexala looked at the beings who had ruled a third of the galaxy for millennia. Supreme Elders, I've studied every military strategy ever conceived. I've memorized the tactics of 100 species. But I cannot fight an enemy that flips coins to make decisions, puts clowns in charge of negotiations, and thinks painting ships pink is a valid military strategy. She paused, choosing her words carefully. My recommendation is that we avoid further conflict with the humans. Not because we can't defeat them militarily, but because defeating them might be impossible. How do you defeat an enemy that treats war like a game, death like a prank, and military strategy like improvisational comedy? The elders looked at each other. The first elder spoke for all of them. Are you suggesting we sue for peace? I'm suggesting, Vexala said, that we find out what it actually takes to make them stop. Because if this continues, we won't lose the war. We'll lose our minds. As if to emphasize her point, an urgent message arrived. The humans had just challenged the entire Zalathi fleet to something called a dance-off to determine the winner of the war. The message included instructions for something called the electric slide. The supreme elders of the Zalathi Dominion, rulers of 300 star systems, conquerors of the galaxy, looked at each other in complete bewilderment. Get us a negotiator, the first elder said finally, and perhaps someone who understands dancing. The message that changed everything arrived at 3:47 a.m. Zalathi Standard Time. Vexala was awakened by every alarm in the military command center activating simultaneously. She rushed to the bridge, still in her sleeping robes, to find her entire staff staring at the main screen in horror. What is it? She demanded. Are the humans attacking? No, Commander, Thresh replied, his voice shaking. They're getting serious. On the screen was a simple text message from the United Earth Chaos Division. Hey Zalathi, fun time's over. You just threatened Earth directly with your planet killer weapon. Big mistake, huge, now we're going to try. P.S. This isn't a joke anymore. What triggered this? Vexala asked, though she already suspected. High Command, Thresh explained. They got tired of the human chaos. 15 minutes ago, they moved the World Ender into position and transmitted an ultimatum. Surrender or Earth gets destroyed. Vexala felt her blood freeze. The World Ender was the Dominion's ultimate weapon. It could crack a planet in half. But using it, or even threatening to use it, against a species' homeworld was considered the ultimate escalation. Get me high command, she ordered. I can't, all our communication systems just started playing something called elevator music. We can receive but not send. Before Vexala could respond, every screen in the command center changed. Admiral Chen appeared, but this was not the juggling, joking human from before. He was standing perfectly still, wearing full military dress uniform. He wasn't smiling. Zalathi Dominion, he said, his voice cold and precise. I am Admiral Chen, speaking for all of humanity. You have threatened our home, our Earth, the place where our children play, where our parents are buried, where every human who ever lived took their first breath. He paused, and when he continued, his voice was even quieter. For the past year, we've been playing with you, having fun, keeping our people entertained while we figured you out. We painted our ships pink. We let goldfish make tactical decisions. We had dance-offs in the middle of battlefields. Do you know why? The Admiral stepped closer to the camera. Because the alternative was letting humans be what we really are when threatened, and nobody wants that, not even us. The screen changed to show Earth. Beautiful, blue, fragile Earth. But you just threatened our home. So now I need to explain something about humans that you haven't figured out yet. We're not crazy. We're not random. We're something much, much worse. We're humans who have nothing left to lose. The screen split into multiple feeds. Vexala gasped. There were human ships everywhere. Not dozens. Not hundreds, thousands. Where had they come from? Remember all those silly painted ships? The pink ones? The ones shaped like sharks? Those were decoys, distractions. While you were laughing at our circus, we were building a real fleet. Meet the Human Revenge Armada. Every human who could fly a ship volunteered. We have grandmothers flying bombers. We have teenagers and fighters. We have civilians who learned to fly last week. Admiral Chen reappeared, but that's not the scary part. Want to see the scary part? The screen changed to show a massive construction in space. It was a cloud of tiny machines, billions of them, spreading out like a metallic disease. Say hello to Project Spite. Some call it the von Neumann Revenge Swarm. Self-replicating machines. They build copies of themselves from any material they find. And they're programmed with one simple instruction: hunt and destroy anything with Zalathi technology. Forever. He let that sink in. These machines will spread across the galaxy. They'll reproduce. They'll evolve. They'll hunt your technology for the next million years. Maybe billion. We don't actually know when they'll stop. We didn't program them to stop. That's insane, someone on the bridge shouted. Chen heard somehow and responded. Yes, it is insane. It's completely insane. We spent our entire GDP for 3 years building something that will destroy you forever. If you destroy us, no benefit to us. Pure spite. That's what humans do when you threaten our existence. We ensure you regret it for eternity. The Admiral picked up something from his desk. It was a simple coin. But here's the fun part. We haven't released them yet. We're going to flip this coin. Heads, we release the swarm now. Tails, we give you one chance to back down. Want to know the really fun part? We haven't decided if the coin is real or if it's weighted to always land heads. He flipped the coin. The entire Zalathi bridge held their breath. It seemed to spin forever. Chen caught it, looked at it, and smiled. But it wasn't a nice smile. Tails, lucky you. You have 1 hour to move the world ender away from Earth. But before you decide, let me show you something else. The screen changed to show broadcasts from Earth. Every major city, every small town. Billions of humans all standing outside looking up at the sky. Many were holding hands. Some were singing. Children were on their parents' shoulders. See them? Chen asked. They know about your threat. We told them everything. Showed them the world ender. Explained what it does. Do you know what they did? They didn't panic. They didn't riot. They went outside to look at the stars together. Because if these are humanity's last moments, they wanted to spend them together, with the people they love. The camera moved back to Chen. But here's what you don't see in that video. Every one of those humans is also holding a weapon. Kitchen knives, hunting rifles, baseball bats, some just have rocks. Not because they think it will help against a planet killer, but because that's what humans do. We face death standing up together, holding whatever weapon we can find. He leaned forward. You want to know the truth about human warfare? The pink ships, the jokes, the chaos? That's us being nice. That's us trying not to be the monsters we know we can be. Because the truth is, when you truly threaten us, when you back us into a corner, when you threaten our families, we don't just fight to win. We fight to make sure that anyone who threatens us becomes a cautionary tale for the rest of history. The Admiral stood up and walked closer to the camera. We invented nuclear weapons and pointed them at ourselves. We created biological weapons that could end our own species. We've killed more humans than any alien ever has. And after all that, we survived. We survived because we're too stubborn to die and too spiteful to let anyone else kill us. He pulled up another display. By the way, we've been broadcasting this entire war to every civilization in the galaxy. Everyone is watching. They've seen you, the mighty Zalathi Dominion, spending a year failing to defeat humans who were painting ships pink and having dance battles. And now they're seeing you threaten to destroy our world because you couldn't handle our chaos. How's that going to look in your history books? The mighty Dominion so frustrated by human pranks that they had to threaten genocide. Chen sat back down. But I'll make you a deal. A real one this time. No jokes, no tricks. You apologize for killing Dr. Kim and Dr. Okonkwo. You recognize Earth's sovereignty. You leave us alone. In return, we don't release the swarm. We don't tell the galaxy how to replicate our chaos warfare. We go back to being the silly humans who paint ships pink. He picked up the coin again. Or you can try to destroy Earth. Maybe you succeed, but then you spend eternity being hunted by machines built purely out of human spite. Your choice. The transmission paused, then Chen added one more thing. Oh, and for the record, that goldfish that was making tactical decisions, it died 3 months ago. We've been using a computer pretending to be a goldfish. But the fact that you couldn't tell the difference between our actual strategies and a dead fish's random swimming, that should tell you everything about this war. The screen went dark. Then a countdown appeared. 59 minutes, Vexala looked around her bridge. Every officer was pale. The tactical computer had crashed again, this time showing only an error message. Human logic does not compute. Commander, Thresh whispered. What do we do? Vexala thought about the past year. The pink ships, the dancing, the jokes. All of it had been a distraction while humanity prepared for this moment. They had turned their entire species into a weapon pointed at anyone who threatened them. Contact High Command, she said quietly. Tell them to move the World Ender now. But Commander, we're the Zalathi Dominion. We don't surrender to primitives. Vexala turned to face him. We're not surrendering to primitives. We're avoiding a species that would build a million-year revenge weapon out of pure spite. There's a difference, she looked back at the countdown. 47 minutes. And send an apology for Dr. Kim and Dr. Okonkwo. Make it sincere. Very sincere. As her crew scrambled to comply, Vexala realized the truth. The humans hadn't won because they were stronger or smarter. They had won because they were willing to be absolutely insane in defense of their home. And sometimes, in the vast darkness of space, insanity was the most powerful weapon of all. The peace treaty was to be signed at coordinates 234.7, 456.2, 89.3. When Vexala had asked how the humans had chosen this location, they said they threw darts at a star map while blindfolded. She believed them. The Zalathi delegation arrived in their finest diplomatic vessel, polished to perfection, every protocol observed. The human ship that met them was painted to look like a giant earth creature called a rubber ducky. It was bright yellow with an orange beak. Vexala had stopped trying to understand. Commander Vexala, now Ambassador Vexala, Thresh said, reading her new title from his pad. Are you ready for this? No, she admitted. How does one prepare to negotiate with chaos? The airlock opened and the human delegation entered. Admiral Chen was there, but he was wearing casual clothes. Something called jeans and a shirt that read, I went to war with the Zalathi and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. Behind him were 3 other humans. A young woman with bright pink hair, an elderly man in a bathrobe, and someone in a full spacesuit despite being inside a pressurized ship. Vexala, Chen said cheerfully. The serious warrior from a week ago completely gone. Good to finally meet face to face. This is my negotiation team. That's Dr. Sarah Park, our chief diplomat. She's 19 and won the position in an online poll. That's Bob, he's someone's grandfather. We're not sure whose. And that's Terry in the suit. Their method acting as an astronaut. Don't ask. Vexala's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, her species equivalent of a sigh. Shall we begin? Sure, Chen said. But first we brought gifts. The humans presented boxes to each member of the Zalathi delegation. Inside were small earth creatures made of fabric. The label said teddy bears. It's tradition, Dr. Park explained, though she was clearly making it up as she went. All peace treaties need teddy bears. It's in the rules. What rules? The ones we just made up. Those are the best kind of rules. They sat at the negotiation table. The Zalathi had prepared a 300-page treaty covering every aspect of the peace agreement. The humans had brought a single sheet of paper and a box of something called donuts. Okay, Admiral Chen said, taking a donut. Here's our peace treaty, ready? We promise not to bother each other. Also, pineapple does belong on pizza. The end. That's it? Vexala couldn't believe it. What about territorial boundaries? Trade agreements? Military restrictions? Bob, the grandfather, spoke up. Honey, at my age, I've learned that the more rules you make, the more rules people find ways to break. Keep it simple. Don't be jerks to each other. Everything else sorts itself out. But, Vexala struggled. This is how peace treaties work. According to who? Terry asked through their spacesuit helmet. According to 5,000 years of galactic civilization. Well, we've been in space for like 50 years, so we're going with our way, Dr. Park said, then added more seriously. Look, Ambassador, the truth is we don't want to fight. Fighting is exhausting. We have Netflix shows to watch and coffee to drink. War interrupts both those things. Chen nodded. The past year of chaos? That was maybe 5% of our species actively involved. The rest were just watching and sending us memes. Do you know how hard it was to get humans to care about a war with aliens? We had to make it entertaining or they'd lose interest. Vexala processed this. You're saying most of your species didn't even notice they were at war? Oh, they noticed. They just treated it like a reality show. Keeping up with the Kardashian aliens or something. We got great ratings, though. The commander-turned-ambassador felt a headache forming in all 4 of her brain lobes. So if we sign this treaty, what happens? We become friends, obviously, Dr. Park said. Humans are great at that. One day we're throwing asteroids at you. The next we're inviting you to barbecues. It's our thing. You forgive that easily? Chen's expression became slightly more serious. We don't forget. Dr. Kim and Dr. Okonkwo are still dead. But holding on to anger is exhausting, and we're basically lazy when we're not threatened. Plus, have you tried human food? We make amazing food. You can't eat amazing food if you're too busy fighting. Terry suddenly stood up. I need to say something. As an astronaut, you're not an astronaut, Bob interrupted. You're an accountant from Denver. As an astronaut, Terry continued, ignoring him, I think we should add something to the treaty. Cultural exchange. The Zalathi visit Earth, humans visit Zalathi worlds. We learn about each other. Vexala considered this. That actually sounds reasonable. Great, Chen said, but we're doing it our way. No formal exchanges, just random humans showing up wanting to see your stuff. Fair warning. They'll probably try to pet everything. Humans will try to pet anything even if it's obviously dangerous. Why? Because it might be fluffy. The treaty signing itself was predictably chaos. Instead of formal pens, the humans brought something called glitter pens that left sparkling ink. Dr. Park signed her name with a little heart over the I. Bob signed it Bob with no last name. Terry signed it while doing a backflip. For the cameras, though there were no cameras. When it was done, Admiral Chen stood up. Congratulations, Ambassador Vexala. You've just made peace with humanity. Fair warning. Being our friend is almost as chaotic as being our enemy. But the food is better and we throw great parties. I have one question, Vexala said. The von Neumann revenge swarm. Was it real? Chen grinned. Oh, it's real. Sitting in a warehouse somewhere, ready to go. We spent 3 years of our entire planetary budget on it. Completely insane waste of resources. But that's the thing about humans. We'll bankrupt ourselves out of spite. It's not logical, but it works. 3 months later, Vexala stood in her new office on Earth. She had become the first Zalathi ambassador to humanity, a position that required her to throw out everything she had learned about diplomacy. Her assistant, a human named Marcus, knocked and entered. Ambassador, you have a visitor. A small human entered. She couldn't have been more than 7 years old. She was carrying a drawing. Hi, the child said. I'm Sophie. I drew you a picture. Vexala took the drawing. It showed her, with only 2 eyes instead of 4, but she appreciated the effort, standing next to a small human figure under what appeared to be a rainbow. At the top, in crayon, it said Friends. Friends is spelled F-R-I-E-N-D-S. Vexala corrected gently. I like my way better, Sophie declared and ran off. Vexala hung the drawing on her wall next to her military commendations. Somehow it felt more important. Later that day, she attended her first human barbecue. Admiral Chen was there, wearing an apron that said, Kiss the cook or we'll declare war. He was juggling spatulas while cooking something called burgers. How are you finding Earth? He asked. Chaotic, illogical, completely unpredictable, Vexala replied. I'm starting to enjoy it. That's the spirit. Hey, want to learn something cool? We're teaching the galaxy's first course in strategic chaos theory. It's just us explaining that sometimes the best strategy is to have no strategy. We've confused 12 different species already. Vexala watched humans and a growing number of alien visitors mingling. Children played games with no clear rules, making them up as they went. Adults discussed philosophy while playing something called beer pong. Someone had brought a pet that was clearly not from Earth, and 3 humans were already trying to teach it tricks. Your species is insane, she told Chen. Yeah, he agreed cheerfully, but it's a fun kind of insane. And hey, nobody's threatened Earth since word got out about the revenge swarm. Turns out the best defense is a reputation for being completely unhinged. A year later, the Galactic Council held a special session. The topic, how to classify humanity in the galactic community. Vexala was called to testify. Ambassador, the council chairman asked, after your extensive experience, how would you describe humanity? Vexala thought carefully. Imagine a species that can split the atom and use it as both a weapon and a power source. That can calculate the trajectory to land on their moon using computers less powerful than their current phones. That will spend billions on a revenge weapon they hope never to use. That paints warships pink and follows goldfish tactics. That can forgive their enemies and invite them to dinner. That teaches their children to share while teaching them to fight. That creates beautiful art and terrible puns with equal enthusiasm. She paused. Humanity is chaos given form. They are unpredictability incarnate. They are the species that looks at the dark void of space and says, let's go see what's out there, it'll be fun. They are completely insane. The chairman leaned forward. Then should we fear them?
No, Vexala said, surprising herself with the certainty in her voice.
We should befriend them, because having humans as enemies means facing chaos and war. But having humans as friends means being invited to the chaos. And honestly, the chaos is more fun from the inside. As she spoke, she noticed a message on her communicator. It was from Sophie, the human child. She had sent a video of herself teaching a Zealothi child a game where the rules changed every 30 seconds. Both children were laughing. Vexala smiled, an expression she had learned from the humans. The galaxy would never be the same. The humans had arrived bringing their chaos, their kindness, their spite, and their incredible ability to turn everything, even war, into something unexpected.